G'day! In today's video I'm talking about iPads and finding decent replacement digitizers or touch panel or glass, depending on what you want to call it. Now over the years I've dealt with many iPads, and in the beginning years I've had a lot more frustration than I've had in the later years. Currently now I'm finding really good quality products or replacement parts. The touch panel on them is fine. The connection when I push it onto the board's perfect. It comes with adhesive already on it, and overall I'm extremely happy with the quality that I have been getting now. There are a few other little minor things that I'll go over in this video to explain what other things you should be looking for when you're buying a replacement digitizer for your iPad. First of all, if you're buying the cheapest possible one out there, I find that in the past I could have had a stack of 10 iPad replacement touch panels and all of them were terrible. Either the connection, I'd have to put it all together, glue it all down, have everything all done, turn it on, touch is imperfect. The touch on it, would get phantom presses where you'd press 1 and it would press 9, and just other BS. Sometimes you have to take it apart, disconnect it, reconnect it, reroute the cable, try and move the cable slightly, and there's numerous reasons why, but overall they were absolutely a pain in the ass, and in the end it made me completely dislike working on iPads. Now with the quality parts, I'll happily get one done in 15-20 minutes. Nowadays the job is no worries, no concern. I know that the part that I'm going to put in is going to function once I've put it in. Not having to adjust the cable, try and lift the screen slightly, try and reroute the cables down the side, disconnect, reconnect after I've fully assembled the machine. There's nothing worse than fully finishing a job, or at least you think you have, and then find out that no, it's not right. I get that now with Oppo screens. Oppo, I found the replacement screens out there have been an absolute pain in the ass. With them, I'll do the whole job, put them all together, glue it down, put it on the bench, look at it, it's working fine, use it for a bit, cool, come back 15 minutes later and there's streaks all up the screen's useless. So I haven't figured out if that's a quality control issue or my installation method. Either way, it gives me the SHIT, and usually I buy 2 screens when I just need one, purely for the fact that I know one of them is going to screw me over. Anyway, moving on. So regarding iPads, so here's 2 different qualities of screens. This one, well, I hate the way they refer to stuff as A+++ or S tier and then A grade. A grade's usually absolute shit, where something like A++ is normally pretty good. These are the things to look out for when you do go to purchase these. This one here, first thing, this bit here, this dag here, right there, you don't want that. So this one here, granted these are for 2 different models. This is an iPad 6, this is an iPad 7, 8, and 9. Just buy the iPad version 9 because it's usable on earlier versions, and it has these little cutouts for the sensors on the top, which you can't quite see it on here, but there's 2 circles at the very top that allow the ambient light sensor to view. On this 8 and the 7, they don't have that, or I believe the 7 doesn't, 8 might. But the part is workable on that as well. I might as well get the one that's going to cause a lot less drama. Back to this little daggy bit right here, right there. Look at this one. This one here does not have it at all. It's perfectly flush with it. That there is going to save probably half the drama you'll have installing one of these. Because you've got to fold this over yourself, you've got to make sure it's perfect. And on the other one, the more premium one, you simply don't have that issue. It's perfectly fine. Issue number 2 that I normally get is these connectors here. Normally when I go to install them, normally there should be a nice firm snap when I push them in. This one normally doesn't do it. Granted, or this one probably still okay, but other ones in the past, I'd push them on and they just feel real mushy. They won't feel like they're snapping into position. And one's on the more premium one here. I push them on and they go clunk, and I try to wobble it and there's very minimal movement. I know it's got a firm connection. That's other half of my drama. So we've got the fold, we've got the connection. Third thing, which is a bit of an optional one, I don't really go out of my way for it, but if it has it, I'm happy, is this small little foam padding that you may be able to see running down here, all the way around the border. And what that does is similar to the original one, is that with that on the board, it stops the digitizer, the touch panel part of here, actually touching the metal. So if it's not glued down well enough or it's on bare metal, you may cause phantom presses or inaccurate readings or whatever you want to call it. Basically it stuffs up. With that pushed on there, on the board, with the foam on it, it's slightly lifted up a bit higher. And that there reduces another point of failure. So what the more premium one's doing, even though it mightn't be one certain thing that gives it the advantage, the combination of them make them a hell of a lot more reliable, and I'm going to trust them considerably more than ones like this. It doesn't have any foam around the outside. It doesn't have the fold over on the flex connector, and the connectors themselves feel rather flimsy when I connect them up. So even though they may appear more premium, I don't usually trust them. So they're my 3 things that I'm normally looking for on an iPad. I'll probably remember some more after the video, but right now they're the 3 that I go for. The firm connection right here, and also being that it's taped down and it's got a foam pad underneath it, that's not going to move anywhere from the factory. This here could have suffered a knock, a hit. As you can see, one of them's not even straight right now. Looking straight down the camera, this one here is kinked. So even though that's kinked, it might have bent and damaged the flex cable over here, and in turn is now useless. This one here, neatly secured, out of the way, not going to have a drama, or should have very little chance of a drama. What's the difference in price between these ones? I would say between this one and this one is probably about $7 difference. But $7 in the scheme of installing 5 of these in an hour versus doing 2 of these ones in an hour because I have issues and dramas and frustration, I'd much rather spend that extra money on this one. Granted, it might be, in your region, it might be anywhere from $10 difference, which equates to maybe about 30% difference in price. These are rather cheap, they're fairly inexpensive. It's best to spend the extra money and know that when you do the job once, it's going to get done right and you're not going to have to stuff around, install it perfectly, flawlessly, you're extremely happy with it, you turn it on, you go to use it, and the touch panel's faulty. Bam, now you've got to stuff around, you've got to open it up, you've got to remove the adhesive, you've got the risk of damaging the touch panel because you've already glued it down. Now you've got to stuff around lifting it up. Bam, you get dust in there, you get dust on the back of the touch panel, and all of a sudden that job has just turned to crap. Spend the difference, get the more premium, at least then get a product you can trust and you're going to be happy installing. I used to absolutely hate iPads 2-3 years ago. Now that I've finally got a good quality product that I can get my hands on every time, I'm going to be perfectly happy with these, knock them over in 15-20 minutes. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the iPad Digitizer replacements, and I hope this helps you. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.